Now on CoastTV News.
Police warns the public what precautions police want you to take. In the Bethany Beach election, where and when you can vote at.
Tracking some showers moving through and into the overnight, but a brighter, comfortable Labor Day is on the horizon. I'll break your Labor Day forecast and a taste of fall coming up.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Brandon Ferguson, and welcome to CoastTV News at 11. Tonight, we begin with the U.S. Coast Guard making a change to the missing boater case. U.S. Coast Guard has called off the search for Dorian Yankee after searching for 3 days. Officials say he was last spoken to at 7:30 a.m. on August 26th and departed off the Indian River Inlet at 9:30 a.m. that same day. The boat Yankee was in is a 24-foot white Hydra sport boat. He was last seen wearing a tan shirt, navy shorts, and a navy hat. The Bethany Beach election will be electing 4 town council members, each receiving a 2-year term. This will take place on Saturday, September 7th from noon to 6 p.m. at Town Hall. As seen first on CoastTV.com, DelDOT has announced the replacement of crossroad pipes, and this will begin Thursday, September 5th through Friday, September 13th on Taylor Mill Road between Fire Tower Road and West Elliott's Dam Road. Delaware State Police say there's been an increase in car thefts in Sussex County, and they're reminding people to park in well-lit areas, keep all doors locked and all windows up. Now we take a live look into Rehoboth Beach. Quiet night out on our Gateway Subaru cam, and Chris Mastrobuono joins us for our forecast. Good evening, Chris.
Good evening, Brandon. Yeah, it's been a warm and muggy day across much of the area, and we're actually seeing some light rain, light to moderate rainfall pushing through now across Fenwick Island and Ocean City, getting wet there on the boardwalk. And you can see some light rain extending southward into Crisfield as well as Salisbury, but that's pretty much it. We're dry to the north. We have some other showers that we're tracking that are going to dip into the area, but our cold front back off to the west is going to push through later on tonight, usher in some nice refreshing air. After highs today, 85 in Ocean City, you saw a high of 83 in Georgetown, 84 in Cambridge. Right now, though, we are in the 70s, 77 Rehoboth, we're at 75 in Milton and 75 in Seaford. As I mentioned, a few showers overnight, maybe a rumble of thunder. Otherwise, we are going to see clear skies into our Labor Day, lower humidity, which is going to feel very nice, and then we're going to see those fall-like temperatures move in through much of the start of next week. Plenty of sunshine. We'll talk more about that in my full forecast when I come back a little bit later on.
Labor Day is here, but beyond barbecues and a final chance to wear that summer white, what is the day meant to mark? NBC News' Zincle Asamoah simply explains why.
Today, work looks a lot different.
How would you describe the workplace now versus, say, what it was like a few decades ago?
A buyer's market versus a seller's market.
Johnny Taylor is president and CEO of the Society of Human Resources Management.
Back in the day, employers, if you will, bought talent. And so it was very much up to the employer to determine the terms and conditions of employment. Fast forward, in a knowledge-based economy, everyone now understands that they sell their talents and their skills to organizations.
The seller, in this case the American worker, is celebrated on Labor Day. Put simply,
Labor Day, in some ways for many decades, was closely tied to labor unions in the United States, right? Especially up to the 1950s, 60s.
At the time, union membership was defined by craft unions or guilds. Think skilled workers, carpenters, plumbers, and electricians.
It's very much not connected to labor unions anymore, which have declined in membership, really since the 1970s. That image of the guy in a sort of steel-toed boots and a hard hat, mostly that doesn't exist.
Today, just over 11% of American workers are in unions, down from a high of over 30% in the 1950s. So how did we all end up getting the day off? Quick history lesson.
Labor Day officially became a national holiday in 1894 in legislation signed by then President Grover Cleveland. Now, there's some dispute over which labor leader first proposed the idea to kind of strike one day a year. And then some state governments over the course of the 1880s started recognizing this as Labor Day.
But the way we work has drastically changed. According to Pew Research Center, today, 14% of employees are fully remote. That's compared to 5.7% who worked from home in 2019 prior to the COVID pandemic. And the length of time spent in careers is changing too. Workers under 34 years old are on average switching careers every 1.3 years. That's compared to older employees switching every 4.9 years.
Why have we seen these changes?
Number one would be demographics. American birth rate's been on a decline.
Translation, fewer workers and more demand.
The second and perhaps most important reason is just the nature of business. In a knowledge-based economy.
And then there was COVID. The nation reached a 20-year high quit rate following the pandemic.
The organizations who are going to win are the ones who get the right people and keep those people, keep them motivated. And so employers have to be far more focused now on how we treat our employees.
And that's Labor Day simply explained.
Thousands of protesters took to the streets in Israel tonight, demanding Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu do more to bring home the hostages held by Hamas in Gaza. Protesters blocked roads and set off flares in Tel Aviv after the Israeli military says it found the bodies of 6 hostages in Gaza. Netanyahu says Israel will not rest until it catches those responsible. Some 100 hostages are still being held by Hamas. Back in the U.S., we're hearing for the first time directly from Vice President Kamala Harris about former President Trump's controversial visit to Arlington National Cemetery last week, with the White House also denying reports that she, too, had been invited to attend.
Tonight, the controversy over former President Trump's visit to Arlington National Cemetery has reignited. Vice President Harris slamming him for disrespecting sacred ground, all for the sake of a political stunt. She's calling the cemetery a solemn place and not a place for politics.
We lost 13 great people.
It's her first time weighing in after the Trump campaign posted this highlight video on TikTok showing the former president laying a wreath in honor of the service members killed during the chaotic military withdrawal from Afghanistan. A cemetery spokesperson said federal law prohibits campaign-related activities there.
Mr. President, what do you think of President Trump's behavior at Arlington Cemetery with the visit to the fallen soldiers?
I don't want to answer things. I may tell you what I think.
On social media overnight, former President Trump posted a series of videos from Gold Star families criticizing the Biden administration.
You have been nothing but disrespectful to me and the families of the 13.
We invited President Trump. We are the ones that asked for the video and the pictures to be taken.
Even though the U.S. troop withdrawal from Afghanistan was negotiated with the Taliban during the Trump administration, the former president blames the Biden White House for its poor execution.
Joe Biden killed those young people because he was incompetent. And then they tell me that I used their graves for public relations services, and I didn't.
In an interview with NBC News last week, Trump insisted he knew nothing about the video that was shared on TikTok and said the Gold Star families had invited him.
You know who the families also invited? Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Where were they? Joe Biden was sitting at a beach. Kamala Harris was sitting at her mansion in Washington, D.C.
A White House official and the Harris aide deny the president or vice president were ever invited.
Coming up soon, the Shore Living Expo. This event celebrates health, wealth, and home on Delmarva. As you can see on your screen now, this event takes place from September 7th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday morning on CoastTV News, tune in for the latest on President Joe Biden joining Kamala Harris for a rare joint campaign event. And then coming up Monday evening, tune in to CoastTV News for veterans getting a second chance with this court program.
Well, if you didn't get a chance to hit the beach today, well, you're in luck. Tomorrow we are going to see mostly sunny skies after a cloudy start. Low risk of rip currents, temperatures right around that 80-degree mark. We'll talk more about Labor Day and the week ahead, which features a little taste of fall coming up.
But first, the growing of oysters is a huge project for one group of University of Delaware students and what they are doing to keep the population strong. We'll be back in just 60 seconds.
Life is full of little moments. Joyous laughter. Playful dancing. Bright smiles. Never miss a moment. Built for brighter days. Shell Brothers Homes.
Marty Rendon is ready. Building on his legislative work in Congress and UNICEF, Marty chairs the Legislative Committee of our Delaware Human and Civil Rights Commission, and he knows how to unpack the issues that matter most to you: traffic, healthcare, education, overdevelopment, and more. Marty's ready to fight for his neighbors in the greater Lewis, Rehoboth, and Dewey Beach communities.
The only baggage I carry is yours.
Vote Marty Rendon on September 10th.
Well, I hope everyone is having a safe and good Labor Day weekend across the Delmarva Peninsula. Live look into Rehoboth Beach from our Boardwalk Plaza cam, 77 degrees. It is a very soupy night along the coast, to say the least, with those dew points in the 70s. And you can see temperatures only falling into the lower 70s. Could see a stray shower or two overnight. Right now, though, we're at 75 Seaford, 75 there in Salisbury, 77 in Ocean City, where we've seen some rain over the last hour. As I mentioned, check out some of these dew points. 77 in Millsboro, feels like 75-degree dew point there in Ocean Pines, but we are going to see a cold front move through later tonight to put an end to those dew points, those high dew points. Small craft advisory up until 6 o'clock tomorrow, so keep that in mind if you're heading out on the boat there in the bay. There's the showers passing over Ocean Pines. We had some light to moderate rainfall move over Ocean City as well as Fenwick Island. You can see some lighter showers extending through Crisfield, but not much. We have a few other showers there across southeastern Pennsylvania that may dip into the Delmarva overnight, but cool, dry air lurks back to our west. That high pressure is going to be moving in tomorrow. You can see after a 98 on Wednesday, we've been well below average but humid, even though temperatures only got to 83 today. Average, right on average there, 96, the record set back in 2010. So as we begin the month of September, expecting cooler than average temperatures throughout much of the eastern half of the country. As far as rain goes, we could be slightly above average here between the 6th and the 10th. So the forecast for tonight, 68 degrees, a few scattered showers, late clearing. We could see some clouds to start your Labor Day, but we are going to clear out pretty quickly with those northerly winds. Temperatures only getting into the upper 70s to around that 80-degree mark. And then by Monday night, we see starry skies and we wake up to temperatures in the 50s. So a nice, cool, crisp start to your Tuesday and wall-to-wall sunshine. And that sunshine is going to continue through Tuesday. Could see a few clouds roll in by Wednesday, but still see below average temperatures. Well, your Labor Day looking fantastic. After a few clouds in the morning, we will see clearing skies, temperatures topping out just around that 80-degree mark. Elsewhere across the peninsula, 81 in Milford, along the eastern shore, 79 in Cambridge. We'll see 79 in Denton, 81 Salisbury, 80 in Chickateague. Low risk of rip current seas about 1 to 2 feet into your Monday. After a few morning clouds there in Chickateague and Assateague, we'll see sunny skies. 77 in Ocean City. We're at 71 on Tuesday, and starting the week in Lewis, 80, and then we're beautiful on Tuesday and Wednesday. Just a gorgeous start to the week at the coast. As I mentioned, we're going to say so long to the 70-degree dew points and hello to 50-degree dew points, comfy over the next 3 days, and then we'll see humidity levels rise by week's end. Your Paul Davis 7-day shows a gorgeous Labor Day afternoon, 80 degrees. We're down into the 50s Tuesday morning. Plenty of sunshine, some clouds Wednesday into Thursday, and then some showers roll back into the fold Friday into Saturday. Brandon?
Thank you, Chris. And in Lewis, professors, students, and experts work to grow oysters from just a small seed and to bring more attention to the oyster industry. Local farmers visited a hatchery on Friday near the Broadkill River where they received 50,000 oyster seeds and the opportunity to grow them all on their own. CoastTV News reporter Brendan Conroy says over 500,000 oyster seeds are grown during this process.
It all starts with water filling the tanks where the oyster seeds are held to help them grow. To keep them healthy and ready for their next steps, this whole project has been in the works for over 2 years. Assistant Professor Edward Hale cleans mud off the oysters. Hale and students at the University of Delaware worked to make this idea come to life. Hale says,
Eastern oyster is functionally a keystone species. So for us, today is very much an economic day, right? We're helping the coastal economy. So the more oyster farmers we have, the more oysters we can grow, the better we're going to do for our local environment. And I think making that connection is really important.
These oysters start small. Hundreds, even thousands can fit in your hand.
What you're looking at right here are fresh post-seeded oysters. This silo right here has 600,000 of these little guys in it, whereas this silo a little bit further down has some of the faster growing oysters, and it holds 6,000 of them. Pretty soon, they'll be ready for the farm.
Mark Nardi is a farmer in the area. Nardi picked up some oyster seeds to grow himself. Nardi says he's
super excited about the possibility of a locally grown oyster, locally sourced genetics and locally sourced oysters. From the gametes all the way up. It's not an easy task to start up a hatchery, and that they've got success enough to the point where they can provide us with seed is fantastic.
Hale pulls the oysters for a routine check. He expects this project to continue for years to come. In Lewis, Brendan Conroy, CoastTV News.
From Lewis, Delaware to space, a new study is suggesting that a NASA test in space may result in the first human-made meteor shower, and it could last for 100 years. In 2022, NASA's DART spacecraft intentionally slammed into a tiny asteroid in order to test whether such an impact could change the orbit of an asteroid in the case that it posed a threat to Earth. The new research suggests the fragments will arrive in the vicinity of Earth and Mars within 1 to 3 decades. But there's no need to worry. The scientists say the debris is small and poses no risk to Earth. Staying in space news, SpaceX kicked off Labor Day weekend with a pair of launches from both coasts early Saturday morning. The first Falcon 9 rocket blasted off from Florida, and the rocket carried 21 Starlink satellites to low Earth orbit. Then, over an hour later, SpaceX launched another Falcon 9 rocket carrying another 21 Starlink satellites from a Space Force base in California. The launches came a day after the FAA cleared the Falcon 9 rocket to fly again. The rocket was grounded on Wednesday after a part of the rocket booster exploded while attempting to land. Still to come on CoastTV News at 11, Jaguar problems? Do you own one? You're going to want to listen to this story. Stick around.
Governor Carney trusts Bethany Hall Long to be our next governor. As Lieutenant Governor, Bethany fought to protect abortion rights, passed an assault weapons ban, and made historic investments in education to improve our schools. That's why she's been endorsed by the Delaware Democratic Party. And why Governor Carney said Bethany has the right experience to be our next governor and the vision to build a bright future for all Delawareans. On September 10th, vote Bethany Hall Long for governor.
At Atlantic General Hospital, we've been busy. Busy expanding healthcare services that are second to none in our region. From cancer care and women's health services to orthopedics, gastroenterology, and more, we provide advanced health technologies delivered by top providers. Expert care every day. It's what you can count on from Atlantic General Hospital.
DSN Plus is more action. 4 additional live stream games every weeknight and full replays on demand. DSN Plus is more local. 5 live games every weeknight, showcasing high school showdowns and regional rivalries across Delmarva. DSN Plus is more access. Watch on your mobile devices, and remember, DSN is still free over the air and on cable. But get more with DSN Plus, just $6.99 a month. Download the Delmarva Sports Network app from your app store today.
Save the date for the Meals on Wheels Delaware Beach Brunch presented by Fulton Bank on Sunday, October 13th from 10:30 to 1:30 at the Rehoboth Beach Country Club. Indulge in an upscale brunch paired with handcrafted cocktails, all while overlooking the beautiful bay. Local chefs will delight with hors d'oeuvres and desserts complemented by a range of beverages. Participate in our live and silent auctions featuring exclusive getaways and unique items. For full event details, visit mealsonwheelsde.org. Sponsored by CoastTV.
We turn now to the tragic death of an NHL star and his brother. Police say both were killed by a drunk driver, and as Stephanie Gosch shows us, it happened on the eve of their sister's wedding.
Tonight outside the Columbus Blue Jacket Arena, a memorial is growing. The NHL team shocked by the loss of its biggest star. They signed Johnny Gaudreau 2 years ago.
Hey, Johnny. How's it going? Todd. Hi.
The All-Star forward, nicknamed Johnny Hockey, gave new hope to a struggling team. On Thursday night, police say the 31-year-old and his younger brother Matthew were killed by a suspected drunk driver while riding bikes near their hometown. Johnny was the father of a baby boy and girl, Matthew a hockey coach and husband. Today, their sister was supposed to get married. The driver, Sean Higgins, charged with 2 counts of vehicular homicide. According to the arrest warrant, the 43-year-old told an officer he had approximately 5 to 6 beers. He admitted alcohol contributed to his impatience and reckless driving. The warrant alleges Higgins tried to unlawfully pass an SUV, hitting the 2 brothers who were riding in the narrow shoulder. Higgins has not entered a plea. The brother's uncle, writing in part, "Last night we lost 2 husbands, 2 fathers, 2 sons, 2 brothers. Truly 2 amazing humans." Jerry York was their hockey coach at Boston College.
It sounds like Johnny and Matthew made a real impression at Boston College.
Oh, they really did. And the way they carried themselves around the campus was, something a coach dreams about.
The Blue Jackets writing they are shocked and devastated.
The fame never really changed, John.
Tom Bunting coached alongside their dad in New Jersey.
People just know them as hockey players, but it was a really, really tight family. And it's just a horrible day.
Back in Ohio, Johnny's jersey is a favorite among young players. One youth coach saying it's going to be a hard year. Stephanie Gosk, NBC News.
Yelp has filed an antitrust lawsuit against Google. Yelp claims Google is using its monopoly to dominate local search and advertising markets. Yelp allows users to search for and leave reviews for local businesses. In an online statement, Yelp accused Google of trying to, quote, keep consumers within its own walled garden. The lawsuit comes weeks after a federal judge ruled Google violated antitrust laws with its search business. It is one of the most expensive vehicles in the world, and this week Jaguar issued a warning that some of its I-Pace all-electric SUVs have a problem with the battery. The company has reached out to 3,000 owners of the vehicles. Jaguar wants the owners to park their SUVs outside and away from buildings because the batteries could overheat and catch fire. The company wants drivers to contact their car dealers and get a software update. Vehicle owners should still park and charge their SUVs outside for an additional 30 days once the software is updated. This rookie's record. How fast this record was broken? That's up next on CoastTV News at 11.
Success isn't just about money, it's about finding your purpose, building something you're passionate about, empowering people, and creating joy for others. We serve happiness, and great success is built on great relationships. That's why 15 years ago, I partnered with County Bank. County Bank believed in my vision. They helped me expand my business to new heights. Their commitment to personalized service, innovative solutions, and strong community ties makes County Bank the perfect partner for my journey to success.
Where legendary locals bank. County Bank, member FDIC.
When MAGA extremists took away our rights, Kyle Evans-Gay took action.
Kyle fought for her daughters and ours in the state Senate, delivering the strongest abortion protections in Delaware history.
She took on the NRA to ban assault weapons and protect our communities.
Led on securing our vote and our democracy.
I'm Kyle Evans-Gay, and I'm running for lieutenant governor because a new generation will champion reproductive freedom and fight for our families. Let's do this, Delaware.
Middays with April Brilliant. It's a feel-good show on your radio.
April is the easiest way to get through my workday.
She plays my favorite songs.
She helped me find my furry friend.
She's always making me smile.
Listening to April is the best way to get through my workday.
She makes me feel special.
Middays with April, weekdays from 10 to 3 on Coast Country 103.9 and 106.3. Sponsored by Critter Getters.
Our mission here at the Boardwalk Buddy Walk is simple: to create a community where people with Down syndrome or any other cognitive disorder can live, learn, work, and play. That's why every October, we invite family and friends to a full weekend of acceptance and inclusion in Rehoboth Beach. This year's event takes place on October 12th at 9 a.m. at the Rehoboth Beach Boardwalk and Bandstand. So come out to this year's Boardwalk Buddy Walk and Walk. For more info, go to boardwalkbuddywalk.com, sponsored by CoastTV.
Are you having trouble hearing your TV or listening to conversations in loud spaces?
Then it might be time to consider Nano hearing aids. Don't mistake Nanos for cheap amplifiers. Nanos are FDA-registered OTC hearing aids, which means no more having to go to a doctor and spend thousands. Nano hearing aids are now offering $100 off through this special TV offer. Order right now and get 2 CIC rechargeable hearing aids for only $297. And if you're not happy, return them for a full refund.
Chicago Sky's Angel Reese has put her name in the record books again. The 22-year-old rookie has broken the WNBA's single-season rebounding record. This happened during a game today at the second corner of the team's game against the Minnesota Lynx in Minneapolis. Once she collected her 405th rebound, Reese broke her former WNBA center Sylvia Viles' record set in 2018. Reese is no stranger to breaking records. Earlier this season, she became the fastest player in WNBA history to record 20 double-doubles in a single season. In San Francisco, 49ers wide receiver Ricky Purcell is out of the hospital a day after he was shot in the chest during an attempted robbery. The attack took place Saturday near San Francisco's Union Square in the center of downtown area. Authorities say at least 2 rounds were fired during a fight between Purcell and the teenage suspect, who was also hospitalized. The high-profile attack comes as crime and homelessness in San Francisco have become paramount topics in local politics. San Francisco Mayor London Breed says officers were stationed all around Union Square.
Our officers responded within a minute of the situation, and there are officers, especially on weekends and even a holiday weekend, there are officers all around Union Square, more so than any other community in the city, which is why the response did what it should in a case like this. They were out there, they were able to respond quickly, and they were able to apprehend the suspect.
In your health news tonight, it's the unofficial end of summer. And this weekend, many will be squeezing out the last bit of fun before fall. But if your Labor Day plans will have you around the pool or at the beach or in a lake, Mandy Gaither has tips from an emergency room doctor on how to stay water safe this holiday weekend.
Looking at her now, you'd never know Dara Adesokan's bright light was nearly darkened.
Hey, sweetie pie.
Last summer, Dara was at a pool party. When it was time for cake, her parents say she got out of the water and removed her floaties. But while everyone else was eating, the 4-year-old did what she loves to do. She jumped back in.
I was engaged in some other activities, and the last I had checked on her, she was with her dad.
I was looking for her thinking she was in the bathroom.
After mere moments of not having eyes on her, 2 teenagers saw Dara motionless at the bottom of the pool. They dove in and got her out. Officials say pool surveillance video showed she'd been underwater 6 minutes.
When I turned and saw her lifeless body being pulled out of the water, limp and blue, it was a state of instant just shock and terror.
Through CPR done poolside, Dara regained a pulse. She was life-flighted to Children's Scottish Rite Hospital in Atlanta, where doctors worked to save her.
Honestly, I thought we had lost her already.
But they didn't. After 3 weeks in the intensive care unit and time in rehab, Dara was wheeled out of the hospital, not only a survivor, but also with no long-term damage. Not everyone has this happy ending.
Drowning is the leading cause of death in ages 1 through 4.
Pediatric emergency physician Dr. Sarah Lazarus says those who can't swim should be kept within arm's reach at all times, even if they're in floaties. For children who can swim, always keep them in your line of sight.
Having lots of people around may actually be even more dangerous because you expect people to be watching your child and you're not as focused on them.
Dara is now in kindergarten. Her parents say she's a miracle, but they don't want others to go through what they did.
Not even for 1 second. Don't take your eyes off of them.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Dr. Lazarus says if you're planning to go to the beach or lake this weekend with children, she suggests parents designate a water watcher, much like you would a driver. That person should focus solely on swimmers and should be sober and remove all distractions like cell phones. Fisher-Price is recalling a dumbbell toy because of a possible choking hazard to infants. This plastic dumbbell is a part of the Baby Biceps gift set. The toy maker says gray caps on the end of the dumbbell set can come off. Fisher-Price received 7 reports of the defect, but no injuries were reported. The toy is sold at several major retailers, including Walmart and Target, as well as online. Hollywood star recognized after death. That's after the break on Coast TV News at 11.
Well, we have some fall-like air moving in this week and getting us in the spirit. 4 days away from NFL football, 5 away from me and Brandon's team starting. For 21 days, first day of fall, and 16 from Halloween. We'll have a look at that 10-day forecast when Coast TV News continues.
In Delaware, a family earning $67,000 a year pays the same tax rate as one making $67 million. I'm Matt Meyer, and you don't have to be a former math teacher to know that's an outrage. As governor, I'll make the super wealthy pay more in taxes so working people can pay less. By making state taxes more fair, we'll help more families get ahead. It's not just smart math, it's the right thing to do.
Democrat Matt Meyer for governor.
With all the choices of services on Delmarva, where do you even begin? Trust experts of various fields with Delmarva Experts. Sponsored by Kitchen Concepts Plus, Chesapeake Eye Center, Apple Discount Drugs, FLC Energy, Spicer Brothers Construction, Mattress Peddlers, Homewell Care Services, Robinson's Jewelry and Coin Shop, Delmarva Acupuncture and Wellness Center, Mast Audiology Services, Riptide Restoration, and Delmarva Dave. Delmarva Experts, local experts right when you need them.
Turn on Bionic Spotlight Extreme 360, the motion-activated home defense light that looks just like a security camera. It detects even the slightest motion and automatically triggers 6 ultra-bright LED high beams. Call or go online and order your Bionic Extreme 360 for just $19.99. Plus, get free shipping on your entire order.
To order, call 1-800-316-1548 or go online to buybionic360.com. Call now.
Have you ever felt leg pain, restlessness, cramps, tingling, swelling, numbness? If you've ever experienced the warning signs of bad circulation, then you need Legzercise Pro, the natural circulation booster that uses continuous automatic leg movement to soothe pain and promote healthy circulation the natural drug-free way. Soothe pain and calm restless legs. Reduce swelling in your legs, ankles, and feet, and stimulate healthy circulation. Stay active with Legzercise Pro.
No city in the world like this, and if you ask how I know, I got to plead the fifth. Hey, make me wanna roll my windows down and cruise.
Sunkissed Summer Mixtape on 102.5 WBOC.
Sponsored by Baths by Spicer Brothers.
Whether you think of him as Apollo Creed in the Rocky films or Grief Cargo from The Mandalorian, Carl Weathers enjoyed a storied Hollywood career. On Thursday, he was honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Weathers died in February at 76 years old. He was one of the most diverse actors in Hollywood, who also directed television shows and was writing several projects at the time of his death. Out of the limelight, Weathers owned a cattle ranch in Washington State, where he won numerous awards for the cattle he developed. And before all of this, he played for the Oakland Raiders. Current Las Vegas Raiders owner Mark Davis sponsored his star. Weather is only the second sports entertainment star. The first belongs to Michael Strahan.
Well, as we take a look into Salisbury, a damp evening there. We had a few showers roll through, and temperatures right now are 75. Could see some isolated fog develop here through the overnight, but a muggy night awaiting this front. Could see an isolated shower. There's the showers moving off the coast. Our front back off to the west. Dry, cooler air back off to the west that we are waiting just in time for Labor Day. Now, we are going to be in a high UV index over the next 2 days because we're going to have copious amounts of sunshine, but we do see clouds roll in Wednesday, but a cool, dry stretch over the course of the next week. Now, we are going to see beautiful conditions tomorrow afternoon after some clouds to start in the morning. Mostly sunny skies through the afternoon. Great afternoon for grilling. And you can get that weather forecast at any time by calling our weather phone at 443-880-9100, sponsored by Bard, Mandalas, Brockstead, and Federico. Now, your extended forecast shows a beautiful Labor Day afternoon. We fall into the 50s Monday night into Tuesday. Plenty of sunshine, a nice fall-like day. Could see a bit more in the way of cloud cover Wednesday and Thursday, but dry nonetheless. And then we see our next chance of rain by the end of the week. 78, but we are going to keep those temperatures, Brandon, in the 70s throughout most of that extended forecast.
Thank you, Chris. And we're heating up tomorrow on Labor Day, just like the Phillies heated up tonight, Chris. Took 3 of 4 from the Braves. Castellanos in the 11th inning. That's huge. You know what else is huge? Thank you for joining us tonight on Coast TV News at 11. Download our Coast TV News app for more local news and weather. We'll see you in just a few hours for Coast TV News today, starting at 5 a.m. Have a great night.